Mr. Bishop is recognized for an amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I do have an amendment at the desk, and I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading.
Without objection, the reading of the amendment is dispensed with. The member is recognized for remarks on his amendment.
Thank you, and I rise to offer an amendment to the bill that would fully restore the funding to the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties to the FY25 enacted level. The United States of America exists on the bedrock principles that every person is entitled to and must be treated fairly, equally under the law, must have due process, and must be treated as innocent until proven guilty. The bill before us fails to achieve the delicate balance of keeping our country safe without sacrificing the civil liberties of the American people. It siphons off funds from the Office for Civil Rights, Customs and Border Patrol, cybersecurity, and federal assistance to increase ICE funding by nearly $1 billion. Now, whether you agree that ICE should get $1 billion in new funding or not, we as members of Congress have a duty to protect the civil rights and the civil liberties of every person in America. Because when one person has his or her constitutional rights violated, every American citizen's rights are put at risk. The bill before us eliminates over $37 million from the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, leaving the office with a mere $4.9 million, a 90% cut to investigate what I expect could be hundreds of new complaints of civil rights and constitutional violations by an increasing number of individuals who are now going to be interacting with immigration officials. In March, the Trump administration announced that the Department of Homeland Security would be cutting funding to several oversight and watchdog offices, consolidating their functions and eliminating job positions. Shamefully, the DHS spokesperson justified the changes by saying that watchdog offices like the Office of Immigration Detention Ombudsman and the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties obstruct immigration enforcement at the department. But in many cases, the department has wrongfully weaponized immigration enforcement resources against lawful residents and even United States citizens, sometimes detaining people based solely on their race, ethnicity, or dialect. A few weeks ago, one of my constituents in Southwest Georgia, who is a U.S. citizen of Mexican heritage, was wrongfully detained by Florida state troopers for illegally entering Florida under state immigration law. ICE then put a 48-hour detainer on the 20-year-old even after a judge viewed his birth certificate and dropped the charge. This is just one story of an American citizen who got swept up in an immigration case, but it won't be the last. If the committee ultimately decides to pass this bill with increased immigration enforcement, we will definitely need adequate funding so that cases like this receive proper attention and an independent investigation. A vote for this amendment helps ensure that the Office for Civil Rights and Civil Liberties has the resources it needs to fully investigate alleged civil rights and constitutional violations at the department. I ask you to vote yes to help protect the civil rights of all Americans. I thank you, and I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. The chairman of the